and welcome to our first annual An Impact Beyond Life Memorial Service. My name is Amanda Middlestadt, and I am honored to be the director of our Willed Body program, a program whose purpose is to provide educational resources to our graduate students in athletic training, physician's assistant studies, physical therapy, and also to our advanced anatomies undergraduate students. It is also the purpose of the Willed Body program to provide a place where anyone can choose to make an impact that will reach far beyond their lives. We are gathered here today to honor the generous donors who have given our students the gift of higher learning through their selfless act of whole body donation. This service is in memory of those who in death will forever contribute to the living. When I tried to think of a word that describes the act of donation for medical education, the one that instantly came to mind was courage. Courage. Our donors' courage to donate to the unknown has given our students the ability to know the body more than they would ever thought possible, to know the true meaning of providing dignity and respect for a patient, and that even in death, we are still capable of teaching the living. So many lessons have been learned from our donors, and it is because of our donors' choice to give the ultimate gift of continued learning we gather here today. Although the donors' families cannot physically be here with us, we must still thank them in our hearts. For their loved ones have given our students the opportunity to become leaders in their future professions. Our donors and their families will forever be a part of the Congdon School of Health Sciences family. A family that is made up of exceptional faculty, staff, and students. And some you will hear from today. Through this service, we hope to share our gratitude and respect for all of the people that have made this first year's anatomy course possible, especially for the courageous donors and their loving families. On behalf of everyone here today, I would like to thank Dr. Erb for his leadership and dedication to the students at the Congdon School of Health Sciences, and his vision to create a Willed Body program to provide ongoing educational resource. I also want to personally thank our Memorial Service Committee. Without each of you, today would not be possible. Your hard work and your commitment to this service during holiday and exams is not left unnoticed, so thank you. And finally, I would like to thank Jack Barnes for all of her assistance in helping create this beautiful memorial service. Next, I would like to invite Reverend Al Ward to the podium to give our invocation.
Let us pray. O God, giver of life and conqueror of death, our help in every time of trouble, comfort us and all who mourn anywhere this day. Give us grace in the presence of death to acknowledge you and to remember with grateful hearts the men and women we honor here today. Grant them your peace, and let your light shine upon them now and forever. Amen.
As we're here today to honor all of the donors that we have, as well as the families of the donors, I want to think about first, what is a life well lived? And that is something that all of us need to think about as we are living, as well as how we want the end of our life to be. A life well lived, to me, is something, if you are making an impact on others throughout your life. These individuals, no matter what they did throughout their lifespan, had a massive impact on the people that are sitting here. That is true for the families that allowed this, as well as the donors that decided to give their bodies to be your very first patient. What type of an impact have they had? And I can say over the last several months, I have seen amazing growth out of all of our students. Especially with our physical therapy students, but I am very positive that that is true for all of the students that have gone through this type of process. You have had to look at your first patient. You've had to handle them physically. You've had to look at them, see how they're put together, figure out what type of a life they might have had, and learn respect for your first patient, learn dignity for your first patient. That's going to translate into a wonderful improvement in your clinical skills throughout the rest of your life. Now, most of the students here are probably in your 20s. So as a clinician, you'll probably have a good 40 to 50 years of clinical practice. If you think about the number of students, or not students, but patients that you are going to see over that period of time, all of the donors that you see here are going to have a huge impact over the massive amount of patients that you are going to see. You're going to be much better clinicians, and they will have impacted a wide number of patient population just because of their wonderful gift that they've given. If we expand that out just even slightly, our students are also going to be teachers and mentors, even more so as they progress throughout their careers. And everyone that they teach, everyone that you teach, because of these bodies, is going to have an expanded, exponentially expanded impact on society. So that's a very large impact that these individuals can have, which is a great blessing. So I want to thank the donors and thank the families for the wonderful impact that they have had on our students, on their growth currently, as well as the impact that they're going to have on society throughout the rest of their careers.
So I would like to start off first by thanking the professors, the staff, the faculty, and the students for coming today to join us in honoring some of the most impactful teachers within the Congdon School of Health Sciences, which are our real bodies. My name is Jessica Potts, and I'm honored to speak on behalf of High Point University's inaugural Doctor of Physical Therapy class. As much as you think you might be prepared to enter into the cadaver lab for the first time, it's really hard to be fully ready. I think it's safe to say that we were all a little bit nervous walking in on that first day. For the majority of us, this was our first time working with a human cadaver. There we were, our anxiety steadily increasing on our second day of PT school, on the verge of starting our future careers. Envision what we must have felt when we stepped into the cadaver lab for the first time, slowly adjusting to this new life of grad school. And all of a sudden, complete darkness. So there we stood, sharp utensils in our hand, uncomfortably surprised in the first moments of getting acquainted with our human cadavers. In that moment, we knew that this was going to be an experience that would challenge us physically, tax us mentally, and drain us emotionally. We quickly realized that we must work together as a team to get through, much like we would as future clinicians working within a group of other healthcare professionals to help take care of our patients. Physical therapists are often referred to as experts in human function and movement. You can imagine how difficult it is to learn the anatomical structures and physiological functions that must harmoniously interact to allow our body to move, just from pictures in a textbook. The complexity of the human body is nearly impossible to portray in 2 dimensions. We are fortunate enough to learn these intricacies in 3 dimensions. The willed bodies allowed us to gain a greater and more meaningful understanding of the human body more than any textbook could ever allow. Through hands-on experiences in our lab, we were able to pull on tendons to actually manipulate the muscles that allow the fingers to move. We saw and felt real osteoporotic changes in the bones. Our cadavers were our first patients in our journey towards becoming PTs. We were so incredibly lucky that no matter the mistakes we made or how badly we misread the directions, our patients were always forgiving. Dr. Peterson even reminded us that we could only learn from our errors and that the mistakes we made now would actually help us treat our patients in the future. As we continue to appreciate the relationships between the systems and structures of the human body, we began to learn more about the secret lives of our cadavers. One of our cadavers had her nails painted bright red. Maybe it was her favorite color. Another one had a tattoo on his arm, possibly from a past military service. And one of our willed bodies had an amputated foot, we think due to a lifelong struggle with diabetes. So much of these people's lives were unfolding before our eyes as we embarked on this milestone in our career. These were constant reminders that these were people with lives that had been lived and experiences that we could never truly grasp. Nevertheless, our willed bodies provided us with a unique gift and priceless knowledge of the human body that will serve as the foundation for our anatomical understanding for the rest of our professional careers.
Thank you, Amanda, for organizing this event, and for the committee of students who gathered to make this possible. In preparing my remarks, I was struck by something science journalist Mary Roach said in her book on the life of cadavers, Stiff. She said, "We are biology. We are reminded of this at the beginning and end, at birth and death, yet in between we do what we can to forget." I think she is right that we are biology. Our identity is formed and inextricably linked to what we are as bodies. Setting aside arguments about the artifacts and trace fossils we may each leave behind in our wakes, the donors we gather to honor today did not simply donate their vacant vessels. They donated the physical things which made them who they were. When viewed this way, we can see their donation for the incredibly significant and selfless act that it is. The donors have revealed to us everything about who they physically were, and without such acts of silent generosity, the study of human anatomy would be purely theoretical. Instructors might ask students to pore over textbooks, diagrams, models, and videos, only to realize their understanding of anatomy was founded on faltering sands when they first go to apply it in practice. Without the donations, we simply cannot appreciate the complexity, vagaries, and quirks of the human form. Thus, with each cadaver, our understanding of the human body is transformed, and because of this, the donor becomes our vessel of personal discovery. These donors have taken each of us on a journey, not just to understand the human form, but an inward journey to understand ourselves, and to excise our abilities to forget that we are, as Roach says, simply biology. What's more, the impact of the donor's generosity is not bound by the walls of the classroom. Each donation is more than just a study tool for students. They are also gifts to the untold number of future patients and clients each student here today will work to heal. So while the biology, which created and held the identities of each donor, has eventually vanished, like a pebble into a pond, the ripples will be felt by those of us here for many years to come. These gifts will echo amongst countless lives who may never know that they were touched by those who chose to donate. Many of those helped by these donations may well be our own loved ones, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters. The donors will never know the impact of their gifts, and therefore it is our responsibility to always remain aware of the transformation these donations had on us all, and to quietly remember them as we heal our patients and instruct our students.
Janelle and Elizabeth, and we're going to represent the class of 2019 PAs. I want to start off by thanking all the faculty and staff for their extraordinary dedication. Amanda, Dr. Panfish, and Dr. Mawarchuk for all the time that they spent with us as a class together. We really can never thank you guys enough for everything you put into our education and our future. We wrote a couple of speeches just to reflect what we feel like was most important in our experience with PA class, and I also think that Elizabeth also wrote a poem or found one that she wants to read to you guys, okay? All right, so on the first day of anatomy lab, we walk in and we look at this extraordinary space. We've never seen anything like it before, and it's incredible. We have a mindset to be medical in nature. We were excited, we were eager, we were ready just to learn as much as we could. I wasn't prepared for what I felt that first day. It kind of blindsided me, and I started to think this is not only our first donor, our first cadaver, most of our first cadavers, but it was also our first patient and our teacher that would last forever. Everything that we learned would stay in our hearts and our minds and allow us to be better PAs. I remember Dr. Pampish instructing us to become accommodated with the room. As we scanned around, he wanted us to become familiar with all the available resources provided. His voice began to fade as I scanned the room and realized that these were not only our first donors, but our first patients. Collectively, I want to express our gratitude, our deep gratitude for each and every individual who granted us this opportunity to become better PAs, PTs, and athletic trainers. I'm extremely humbled and honored to speak on behalf of the PA class and to thank those and their families for all their dedication and their decisions to donate to our future and allow us opportunity to cure tomorrow.
Throughout our time with our donors, we truly grew close to them. As Lauren said, they were our very first patients and one of our most important teachers. We would look forward to seeing them in lab every day, eager to learn what they had to teach us. I will never forget the look on my classmates' faces when getting to hold a heart in their hands for the very first time and see exactly how the coronary arteries are wrapped so perfectly around it. As first year, first semester PA students, spending time with our donors also allowed us to spend time with and get to know each other in order to better prepare ourselves for the journey ahead. After all, nothing brings people together quite like learning all the branches of the brachial plexus. In my own lab group, as we explored and learned about the structures of the intricate and complex human body, we often wondered about what our donor was like when she was alive, what her occupation was, how many kids she had, etc. Although we didn't know those things, we did in fact know about who she was as a person. We knew that she, along with all of the other donors, believed in something larger than themselves, and they believed in us as future healthcare providers. Even in their passing, they wanted to continue to help others. It's crazy to think that they had the foresight to ensure that they would be able to, with the most selfless gift that they could offer, their body. And for that gift, we are eternally grateful.
Our donors impacted us all differently, but we are all equally thankful for their selfless gift. Their generous act of kindness brought life and light to our educational journeys, and they helped teach us in many ways. It was a privilege working with our donors and an experience that none of us will ever forget. I would like to conclude with a poem written by Jeffrey Strauss, and it is titled The Calling. Your mothers, fathers, sisters, and brothers all knew you from the start, but their life and legacy did not end as their time had come and they had to depart. To another world is where they would make their stay, with one special stop along the way. They had one important gift to us they would give, not to move on, but through us they will live. Their talents, skills, and educating mind would teach us all, each and every time. The time we spent with them all along the way has helped us become who we are today. We learn from them and respect them all for their thoughtfulness when they heard their call. So let's all be thankful for, even though they are gone, their wondrous gifts they have forever passed on. Thank you. Sullivan, and I will be representing the athletic training program here today. As a master's degree in athletic training, it doesn't require gross anatomy in its academic credentials to be an accredited program. However, I think it is probably the most important class I've ever taken or ever will take that will impact my lifelong career as an athletic trainer. All bodies are not the same, as we can all tell by looking at our neighbor. But God has an amazing way of portraying the human body in so many beautiful ways. As athletic trainers, we encounter many of these different body shapes, muscle tones, and muscle sizes, from offensive linemen and NASCAR pit crewmen to petite Olympic gymnasts and even heavyweight wrestlers. This class has given us the opportunity to visually see all these different body types, not only from the outside, but deep within, from the skin to muscles to the ligaments that hold it all together. Seeing these structures all together inside the body instead of a picture or a video made it easier for us to see how it functions dynamically in real life. All of this would not have been possible without the generosity of these two individuals who did the most amazing act of selflessness possible, giving their entire self to the completely unknown. They had no idea where their physical being would be following their death, yet they knew they would be helping the future generation of medicine. Just a couple weeks ago, during the Being Mortal presentation that we all attended, one of the main take-home messages was that life doesn't last forever, but everything happens for a reason. Even though these two individuals spiritually left this world and went through pain and suffering of a stroke and cardiac failure, there's always a bigger picture that these individuals decided to grasp. They took their loss and made it into something amazing that would benefit athletic trainers and physician assistants for their entire lives. They truly were an impact beyond their life that is continuing into ours every day. So thank you to these two who we have gotten to know oh so well, maybe too well. I know you are looking down on us today, and I pray that you watch over all of us as practicing clinicians, because I know I'm going to need it.
Just now, you have heard the many ways our donors have impacted our students and our faculty and our staff. And we're here today to honor these donors. And our Willed Body program believes that the choice to provide educational learning after death deserves to be honored. Today, we honor our donors with an outward expression of gratitude through words, thoughts, and prayers. It is not just today that we honor our donors. We choose to honor them every day in many unique ways. Located outside of our anatomy lab is an 8-foot-tall tree of life. Our Memorial Service Committee has been working hard on the perfect inscription to honor our first 19 donors. Once completed, each donor will have his or her own leaf and will forever be remembered as the first. Another way we have chosen to honor our donors is by providing a memorial garden where the cherished memories of our donors can be remembered by their loved ones in a peaceful setting. The construction of the memorial garden will begin once the undergraduate sciences building has been completed and will be located in between our building and theirs. As you walked in today, many of you may have noticed a video that the students had prepared. In the video, each student held up a sign that said, "My donor taught me." Humility, selflessness, that every body is different and unique, and so many more. There was 103 of them. So that's how many lives that our donors were able to touch just in this small room. Our students are truly humbled by the lessons their donors have taught them. And to thank them, they would like to light a candle in memory of each donor. On the table to my right sits 19 candles, one for each donor. The lit candle in the middle is to honor the donor from which our faculty taught from. From that candle, all 18 others will be lit. Not only in memory of the donor, but also to signify the wisdom that they pass to our students and that will forever change the way they treat their future patients. Before we begin, I would like to read a quote by American educator Horace Mann that I truly believe captures the meaning of whole body donation and its ability to change the lives of many. The soul of the truly benevolent man does not seem to reside much in his own body. Its life, to a great extent, is a mere reflex of other lives. It migrates into their bodies and identifies its existence with their existence, finds its own happiness in increasing and prolonging their pleasure, in extinguishing or solacing their pains. Students, as I call your name, please stand where you are. At the end of all the names that I will call students, we're just going to file out one kind of row at a time. You'll come up to the table. There are matches, and just light your match from a candle, and then you're going to walk down. So, representing our Department of Athletic Training, Veronica Zega. Curtis Pope Jr. For Physician's Assistant Studies, Tracy Higgins, Anna Hernandez, Ashley Stinson, Liz Whitinghouse, Kara Martin, Rebecca Cook. For the Department of Physical Students, thank you for lighting a candle in memory of your first patient and silent teacher. To continue with honoring our donors today, I've invited the Randolph County Honor Guard. Although we may not know exactly who our donors were, or if they were a veteran, we can all be sure that there may be at least one veteran in our group of 19 donors. So today, we honor those who have served so graciously, both in life and in death.
On behalf of the President of the United States, the Department of Defense, and a grateful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation for those representatives who love their faithful and honorable service. May God bless you and this great nation.
Good afternoon. My name is Al Ward. I am clergy in residence here at High Point University. It is my privilege today to be with you as we remember the individuals who literally gave themselves for the training of healthcare professionals and for the well-being of humankind. In their lives and in their death, they have been a blessing. As I was thinking about this occasion, I was remembering the old patriarch Abraham, to whom God said, "I will bless you so that you may be a blessing to all the nations." I thought about you. I thought about these whom we remember here today, and I believe that they and you have been blessed in order that you may be a blessing. To their family and friends, the individuals we remember here today were their mothers and fathers, their sisters and their brothers, their sons and their daughters, their husbands and their wives, their friends and their loved ones. They were uniquely fashioned by their Creator, who wove body and mind and spirit into the one who they loved and the one who loved them. Their hands brushed their hair, soothed their wounds. Their voices spoke truth and love into their life. Their laughter filled them with joy, and their reproving word or look kept them on the straight and narrow. In their lives, these men and women that we recognize here today were a blessing to their families. And to you who are faculty and students, the individuals we honor here this afternoon were your colleagues and your teachers. Faculty, they were your colleagues in your extraordinary mission of educating healthcare professionals. They made it possible for your teaching and your instruction to literally become incarnate to your students. Students, as you have so eloquently stated, they were your instructors, your teachers, your professors in your remarkable quest to learn the incredible art of healing and compassion. From them, you have learned by touch and by sight about the amazing intricacies of the human body. They have blessed you with the understanding that humans are, in the words of the ancient psalmist, awesomely and wonderfully made. They have blessed you in your teaching and in your practice of the healing arts. For all of us gathered here, the individuals we honor in this service are exemplars of the great mandate to love one another. Friends, we love one another not only when we think kind and gentle thoughts about one another, but we love one another particularly when we give ourselves to and for another. I rather suspect that that is what Jesus meant when he said, "No one has greater love than this, than to give one's life." And the loving generosity of these men and women whom we recognize here this afternoon is about as close as one gets to fulfilling those words of Jesus. In their lives and in their death, these men and women have blessed us all. So this afternoon, across that great silence that is death, I imagine that we might hear the voice of the Creator saying to them, "Well done, good and faithful ones. Now rest from your labor." And what's more, I imagine that we might also hear for ourselves a summons to live in a loving and generous way, that we might not only bless those around us, but that we might also bless those who are yet to come. All of us like the ancient Abraham, all of us are blessed people. But we have been blessed not that we might just hold those blessings tight to ourselves, but that we might use those blessings, our bodies, our minds, our spirits, that we might use those blessings to bless all of creation. Let us pray. God of us all, your love never ends. When everything else fails, you still are God. And so today, we pray for one another in our need, and for all of those who are needy anywhere in this world. We thankfully remember those whom we have honored here this afternoon. We praise you that in their living they were a blessing to those who knew and loved them, and that in their death they were a blessing to our students, and ultimately to countless others. And so today we pray, O God, receive them into the arms of your mercy and into the blessed rest of eternal peace. And grant that we the living, may emulate their love and generosity, so that we too may be a blessing to all creation. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for all attending our service today to honor the silent teachers from whom our students have learned so much from. As you leave today, please take with you a simple gift of remembrance, a keychain made from a river stone engraved with an impact beyond life, in memory of those that have gifted our students with a stepping stone toward their future healthcare professions. I also want to remind you that there will be light refreshments served in the fellowship hall located downstairs as you exit the chapel. Again, thank you to our donors, our students, our faculty, our staff, and to High Point University.